Welcome to the webinar. We're so excited to have you. It's going to be awesome. The title's a little long. It's how Livia Monteforte effortlessly targets ready now real estate clients with over 1,900. Did I say that right? 1,900 text messages a month. So that's awesome. How about some quick intros? My name's Andrew Dorn. I'm with Follow Up Boss. That's all I need to say right now. I wish I was the boss, but I am with Follow Up Boss. We got a special guest, our tech expert, G, who I think is logged in from SoCal. How you doing today, G?
I am excellent.
And next, it's time to introduce a good friend of mine, an awesome dude. He's broker of Core Group, an EXP realty company out of Denver. Gabe, you looking good? What's going on?
Thank you, sir. I'm excited. Like, we've been all over the country together. We're finally doing a webinar together. We've got G, but then we've got Ms. Livia. I mean, come on, we're gonna have to buckle up.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. We have Livia Monteforte. She's a super successful broker with the Fridas Monteforte Group, which is part of Compass. Yeah. And Livia, you look awesome today. Are you excited about this?
I am so excited about this. This is just magical what this does.
Yeah, our pre-call was exciting. we were laughing, having fun. So before I talk about what we're going to learn today, let's go over some real quick housekeeping items. Yes, it will be recorded. All of you are wondering. All of you are wondering. Yes, it will be recorded. And when it's ready, you will get it. So be aware of that. Now, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A button at the bottom. Okay, so please use that. We will be following up with every single question. But as far as the chat, you can just write comments or anything you want. Please use the chat. And in fact, to make sure it's working, which I think it is, but let's make double sure, type in what town or city you're in, please. Where are you sitting right now across the country? I know some people probably outside of the country. So go ahead and let us know where you are. Also, this will be huge because we're going to read this. Type in the #1 reason you're on the call today. What was your biggest takeaway? What's the #1 thing you want to learn today? We'd love to hear that. So type that in. Again, the chat, all questions go in the Q&A box at the bottom, all your questions. We will have time for a Q&A at the end, which will be great. So if we don't cover what you wanted to cover, you can Q&A it, and we'll do that. Here's what we're going to learn. It's a lot. So we're going to talk about creating personalized AI messages that resonate with your leads. So leads actually look at them. They respond to them. We're going to talk about automated texting to save time and increase efficiency. This one, I know many of you are wondering, what's the difference between Chat GPT and Raya? We're going to definitely get to that and spend a little bit of time there. And then we also are going to talk about tracking all your campaigns and performances and how your lead follow-up efforts can be better. And thank you, Livia, for being here for that. You're going to help us greatly there. And then it's important to incorporate automation and processes into a team environment. And Livia is definitely doing that. So Gabe, it's how are we possibly going to get all this in this time frame? We better start.
I know, we jumped right in, guys. And I'm excited because even though Livia and I are both realtor residents at Ylopo, we're running our teams, we're collaborating together and doing a lot of this. And I love how Ylopo has really, partnered with Follow Boss, getting all this activity information, feeding into Follow Boss, where Livia is going to jump in, show you her process, her systems on how she's converting these and working them. But what I thought was really cool, Livia, when we were in this, and there were several times where I was like, let's hit record, because even just in the prep for this, it was just like, you would just go off and it's just like, oh my gosh. But you were telling a story about your team, and we didn't know G was joining, right? We just found out, but you were telling us a story about your team and this. I'd love you to share that again and let G speak to it a little.
Yeah, so one of the biggest things I think all of us agents are getting hit with is all this info about Chat GPT and how it's going to transform our business. Very exciting stuff. But a lot of people are questioning, what does it mean for our industry and how does it play in? So I wanted to clarify and kind of share what I shared with my team because honestly, we got invited to 3 webinars about Chat GPT this week alone. So it is a big topic.
Gosh.
Oh yeah, it's a big topic. But what I went over with my team is, when you think about Chat GPT, and I'm going to let G be the technical expert on this, but when you think about it, you have to prompt it. right? So it's great for content. It's amazing for things you want to share, articles you want to write. But what Raya does, what this Ylopo AI does, is different. It is real estate curated. So this is AI that's meant for agents. This is not me having to prompt it to respond. This is AI that understands the name of the game and cues it up for us. Now, G, being that you're here, can you please explain the technical side of it? I know how to summarize it for the agents, but I love when you get into the meat of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, everyone. I'm the co-founder of Ylopo and the chief marketing and product officer. I am here to be your semi-technical guide into the journey of AI, which we have been working on for 4 or 5 years. And I will say, the hype around ChatGPT and this class of technology, which is called generative AI, is real. It is the biggest deal in kind of AI for a long time, maybe, especially at the consumer level, maybe ever, right? And so how excited you guys are doing webinars on this. Like, I will say that, outside of the digital marketing community, that I have not seen a community, an industry embrace ChatGPT, like the real estate community, right? So for those of you like Livia, attending 3 webinars on ChatGPT, playing with it, learning with it, you guys are doing the right thing. You're staying ahead of the curve. And I think it's totally the right move. Today I'm here to talk to you about, how you use ChatGPT and the future of AI, and how that intersects with what we do here at Ylopo, specifically around chat, right? And conversion. Ultimately, let me just kind of start by saying, giving you guys like an overview of ChatGPT and what we're working on, just even beyond Raya. That's like super interesting. That is technology that's going to be out here. I'm not talking 3 years, 5 years. I'm talking 6 months, right? So today, generative AI and ChatGPT is fantastic for content writing, right? For those of you that was spending hours blogging, hiring people to do blogs, hiring people to write emails, slaving over content. Nothing better than ChatGPT. That has already condensed the time that you were spending in hours into minutes, right? So that's a no-brainer, right? Right where this is going from a content perspective is personalization, right? Imagine now you prompt, ChatGPT to write one email and then say, write 100 variations of this email. And when you send it out to, customers, every single email is personalized, right? So one example I've been playing around with is direct mail, right? Right now, when you send a letter or, letter out to direct mail, you're sending the same thing to 1,000 people, right? Imagine that you're sending a sales letter for a off-market listing to a house, and you can say, hey, my client is really interested in your house based on past photos. They're particularly in love with your, living room and family room setup. And oh, by the way, the value of your home has increased by, 4% in the last couple of months, and we're willing to overbid that number, right? Like something that specific, never been able to do before, right? And by email, by text message, by direct mail, that's all coming. Companies that are in the real estate industry have either released versions of that technology or are working on that technology, right? Personalized search. Imagine when someone comes to the website, instead of drop down clicking 15, 20 buttons, you just type in, hey, I'm looking for a home by the beach, has to be 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but under, $2 million, right? You just type that in, search appears. Guess what? Zillow already released a version of that technology, right? We're working on something like that now using AI, right? What's the craziest thing that we're experimenting with on AI right now is voice technology, right? This is mission impossible technology here, where you just have to say a paragraph of text, we record your conversation, and from there, we can literally, this is scary, impersonate you to say anything, right? So when you run a brand video, my biggest problem with getting agents to do their own personal branding is they don't want to record 30, 45 minutes of content on a weekly basis with a script that they have to read, right? You don't have to now. I just take your voice, I take the script, I take your image and likeness, and I can literally create that for you and even personalize that to clients. Imagine if you guys use BombBomb, you have this technology, and literally, instead of having to record, an hour of content to send your leads, it's just done on an automated basis, right? So this type of technology is truly transformative. And here at Ylopo, we have a amazing AI team, and we're just geeking out about all the possibilities, right? Now, let me take that to practical reality today, right? The biggest use case for AI in our world, and I think what agents care about the most, is lead conversion, right? You have a ton of leads. You agents don't have time to follow up. How do you consistently turn leads and prospects into ready for follow-up opportunities where they have already established some sort of emotional relationship with the consumer, right? And this is where ChatGPT and AI, OpenAI, I'm so excited about what they've done because it has raised the profile of this type of AI, which we've been working on here at Ylopo for 4 or 5 years, right? The difference between ChatGPT and Ylopo Raya, and by the way, Ylopo Raya is using ChatGPT. We are releasing our version of Raya, incorporating ChatGPT, different Microsoft technologies and Google technologies in like 2 or 3 weeks, right? So, and the results that we're seeing from that is fantastic, right? Now, here's the difference. The difference is that with ChatGPT, first off, if you're an agent, you don't have access to their API, right? So if you are having a conversation and you expect to use ChatGPT, you're literally putting in a prompt from a text conversation, copy and pasting that into a conversation with the lead. It's a waste of time, honestly. You could just respond to the text yourself, right? Even using their API, the difference is that ChatGPT is designed to have a conversation with you, but it is not designed to convert you into a prospect, right? So what we've found with Raya is that under 5% of the time does a consumer want to engage in a long conversation with you. Hey, I'm moving because I just got divorced from my husband. I have a dog. We're looking for where I'm not sure where I want to live yet, but it's got to be close to my parents. That conversation happens less than 5% of the time through millions of conversations we've had on the Ylopo side, right? Most of the conversations that happen are linear, and they're linear because of the scripts and dialogue and the testing that we've done with thousands of agents, headlined by feedback and experimentation from the Gabes, the Barrys, the Livias of the world, right?
Okay, sorry, BG, really quick, because I love where you're going here, but your brain is going so much. I want you to speak to something because I really want to get this to Livia where you're just going on this conversation piece, but real quick, over on the right-hand side, I want people to understand, and I think you'll explain, what does it mean though, behavior text, and how you're tying that in versus what just any AI is going to get with Ylopo, because I think that sets the stage with what Livia and her team are crushing to convert these. So I just want to make sure we explain the behavior part of it and how it's tied in.
Yeah, 100%. So, there's 2 parts to, kind of what Raya, right? The first component is, how do I get a consumer to respond to me, right? That is about delivering the right message at the right time. Has nothing to do with generative AI, right? So what we're doing is we're tying the lead conversion process and their home search experience, and we're identifying the trigger moments to perfectly connect with them with the right message to respond, right? That's where we call that behavioral texting, right? And so that's part one, and that's like 50% of the work, right? The second 50% of the work is, instead of having a meandering conversation that doesn't lead anywhere, right? We have an objective. Our objective is answer a certain number of questions where we understand if you're serious about buying or selling, and then saying, hey, I'm just the assistant. Let me get Livia to give you the details by setting you up in a conversation or appointment, right?
Right.
That conversation is very specific and linear, and that's guided by AI, but really informed and happens because of the scripting, the process flow, all of that work that our agents are doing.
And then paired with the behavior on the search site. So Livia, yes.
I have to jump in because something G said just got me so excited. So, right, we're all agents. The key is the right message at the right time.
Right.
How many of us have enough time to always be doing the right message at the right time to connect with these people? And that is what is so insane about Raya and this real estate AI that Ylopo has. It is providing, so based on this person's behavior that doesn't yet know me and they don't yet have a reason to talk to me, we're watching their behavior. We're seeing what that right message should be and what the right time to engage them is. But I'm off showing houses and I can't do it. Well, Ylopo is queuing them up. This AI is jumping in and asking questions as my assistant. And as they're answering these questions, and we have a few examples, but OMG, I think I called it magic before. She's asking questions and then I'm able to jump in because now I get pinged. So it's a little, hey, poke to Livia. Guess what? We have someone that wants to talk to you. And I get to jump in. And now in my virtual office, I get to communicate with this person at the right time. And I already know what the right message is. Gee, it's amazing.
So Livia, you just said something, right? So we got G speaking tech and it's based on behavior, like on the website, when they're logging in, if they're looking at homes, whatever that is. So how do you view and leverage the AI, Raya? Is this appointments? What is your goal with what's happening with these behavior techs when they're coming into you and your team?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that because this is something I talk to my team about all the time. Raya is not meant to sell houses in place of me. Raya is meant to ping me when a conversation is ready to be had. She's my assistant and she's working overtime to tell me when to reach out to the right person. So if you have this database of X thousand of people and they're all looking at things, how as agents we have the time to be able to always be present is beyond me. I think I'm really good with time management and I can't figure that one out.
Yeah.
So we bring in our assistant and our assistant goes, oh, they've returned to the website and they've looked at this property more than 3 times. Let me start to engage with them and see what about that property they like. And all of a sudden, my assistant is having this incredible conversation with this person about what bedrooms, what bathrooms, why they want it. I'll even get into other things she says that are amazing. But then I get a text, and I'll show you my smart list in a little bit. I get a text that says, Raya's engaging. You might want to jump in. And I get to jump in and warm intro myself. It's amazing.
Awesome.
Sorry, Andrew, go ahead.
I was going to say it's such next level technology that, and I love how you say it's working overtime because it never stops. We're talking 24 hours a day. If someone's looking at homes at 2:30 a.m., it still knows what's going on. It's still going to trigger an action for you, which is just, it's amazing. I mean, this wasn't even possible just 3 to 5 years ago.
Well, the other thing that's incredible about it is where, even if you use stages and you use your groupings for people and you use your tags, we're all human and we might have a phenomenal conversation. Andrew might have reached out to me and let me know that he wanted to buy a house on the Cape last summer. And we have this great conversation. And then Andrew goes back to San Francisco and kind of puts it on hold. And I know I have this great connection, but I'm human. I have all these other clients I'm working with. Andrew starts looking in February because he's getting excited about coming to the Cape. My assistant goes, Andrew's back. Let's see if he's ready to talk to Livia again.
And again, because it's based on the behavior and the priority, is it tags them in and it's letting Livia come in every time. And I know it comes up, Livia, and I'd love to know how you guys handle this. It's like, okay, it's AI. They're not the agent. What if she says the wrong thing? Like, does it happen? And what do you do?
Oh yeah, she's AI, right? So she'll say the wrong thing. I personally love it though, because it's a chance to pick up the phone and say, hey, Andrew, I think I owe you an apology. My assistant let me know, blah, blah, blah. I have an example this morning that happened. So in our Rye exchanges, we have her talking to someone and the person says, where are you located? I'm looking in 2 different areas. And then Raya responds about there was like another conversation going when the person sent this. So then she says, are you on the Cape? And Raya responds, I'm not sure, but I'll make sure I ask the agent to get back to you. Now I get pinged, right? So once they're engaging, I get notified. I log in, I'm laughing hysterically because the woman goes, you don't know if you're on the Cape? And so as Raya, I jump in and say, oh, LOL, so sorry, meant to send that to someone else. My apologies. Clearly, I know where I am. Yes, I'm Cape Cod. Livia's coming in the office and would love to jump on a call with you. So use the opportunity. Remember, if we don't have this engagement, it's just a person in our database. We don't know anything about them. We don't know what they're doing. Even if she messes up, it's a chance to get on the phone and apologize. And after I apologize, I go, so what had you looking at properties on the Cape? So there's no real negative to having a very diligent assistant. And I have used that line as well a few times where I say, my apologies, she works overtime and she's so busy. I'm sorry. I hope she didn't offend you. And no one wants to say they're offended. So you can turn it around.
Yeah, I love it. And a lot of times we'll be the same thing, right? She was just making sure I wasn't dropping the ball on my side, right? And I think you is the same. We use stages and everything to say, hey, Raya, don't touch these ones. I got them. They're in my pending, my active clients or whatever, automatically turns off the engagement. But again, even a slightly misworded message that you can apologize for is better than nothing going out and creating what you said a minute ago. It's all about creating activity and communication, inbound communication, for you to now step up and know who to focus your time on, right?
And realistically, right? If I were your assistant, Gabe, and you hired me to just contact everyone all the time, and I'm contacting them all, and I make one misstep, are you going to fire my entire position because I said one wrong text? Or are you going to give me the chance to fix it, or you fix it? And I think that's sometimes what we forget. We know it's AI. The client doesn't.
Right.
I actually have had to start calling my AI Sarah, because we do have a Sarah in the office, because we had a client walk in and say, where's Sarah? I'm dying to meet. Well, she said, where's Raya? I'm dying to meet her. And I was like, oh, she's not in today. So sorry. But so now it's Sarah, because Sarah is here and Sarah can call if need be.
Yeah, I love that. So you mentioned like you get notified from Ylopo via text, but I know you guys are also really good with your systems. Follow Up Boss, how are you viewing and integrating, I guess, Follow Up Boss into this process, and how do you talk to your team or just view that as as you're working through the day on these notifications?
Can I screen share right now, because I want to show you guys kind of behind the curtain what Follow Up Boss does for us?
Absolutely. Do that, and while you're pulling up your screen, I'm pulling stop share screen. I want to just acknowledge the huge audience we have right now, which is basically almost every state in the country is here, Livia and Gabe and G. Almost every state. It might be everybody, but we also have Mexico, people from Mexico, Canada, maybe some other countries too. But it's so long I haven't read it all yet, but I just want to welcome you all. And we do see your questions in the Q&A. So keep doing what you're doing. And wow, you've pulled back the curtain, Livia. Here we are in Follow Up Boss. Thank you.
Here's Follow Up Boss. Now, I want to start with the caveat that I am a smart list geek. I love smart lists. So you're going to see I have a lot. You can simplify this, but Follow Up Boss is my office. I think of Follow Up Boss as where we go every single day. This is where we meet our people. This is where we live. And Ylopo is the engine that is powering my office. It is bringing clients into my doors. The beauty of the simplicity of Follow Up Boss is that you can work through these smart lists very easily. You can respond to people very quickly. It's very, I've used so many CRMs. I feel like Follow Up Boss is just so smooth and simple. It's very easy to work with. So how we prioritized, we like to greet everyone. We have our active clients. We've got our important Raya replies. This is where the magic lives. So you can respond. So I know a lot of people say, well, what if you're out on the road? What if you're in appointments? It comes through on your phone. We have an app we can use and you get the text messages. So I mostly respond if I'm in action, just right from the text. I log in and I take over the conversations. But if you have the time to sit down and talk to these people, you can just go through the list and you can see their priority, what they're, I mean, Ylopo tells us who to contact when and why. I can see what they're looking at. I can see how many times they've looked at it. 14 times. I get to be serendipitous and reach out to these people with the exact properties that they're interested in without them having to tell me. So you can work through the smart list very quickly that way. But I wanted to also show a few of the, let me just go back here to people. A few of what Raya does, it's so amazing. Let me just go to.
And while you're pulling it out, obviously Livia's taking the time to go in, customize some of the smart lists to see this information and be able to dish it up, right? So she's gone in and actually customized this between the integration with Ylopo and Follow Up Boss. They're feeding these in so you can now find these in a systematic way, kind of like it is this like full-time assistant even between Raya and Follow Up Boss.
Yes. So the beauty of this smart list is every morning we go into our database and our goal is to respond to these people that have engaged with Raya. I set it up to respond 3 times a day. And then if it's an urgent nudge, you get notified. You get a text message like jump in. But things like this. So this is someone that was looking, morning, I didn't get it, but I've got on hold for now. I'll let you know when. Thank you. Talk about time saving. He's put the search on hold. Okay, I'll let Melissa know. We'll keep sending you homes and when you're ready, let us know. The beauty of responding as Raya is because you're continuing the conversation, you're letting her know, but now Melissa has a chance to jump in as Melissa and saying, hey, Richard, I just wanted to let you know that I did get the note from my assistant. What had you put the search on hold? And now the conversation gets to shift to an agent being an advisor, meeting the client where they are. It's amazing and it's simple. You just set up these smart lists and you can work right through them. So 91 Raya replies that my agents are working through and we're responding to them in real time as they're responding to us.
Dave, one thing I love that she did is she made it so simple the way Ylopo and Follow Up Boss work together. Ylopo's the engine. It's bringing in people that should be contacted, right? It's bringing in potential clients. And then Follow Up Boss is the office. It's the home base where the smart lists are, where it all gets organized. So Livia and team know who to call and when. It's pretty simple.
It's super simple, right? Ylopo, you when you hire a digital marketing company, their job is to market for you, get your brand out there, get you seen, generate leads, create activity, opportunity. All that's pushed into Follow Up Boss. And now Follow Up Boss, that home base, that office, as Livia is saying, is now your secret sauce. How do you want it dished up? You know, and I know we want to get into some of these questions, like somebody's like, hey, can you use Raya with a solo agent? Like, absolutely, it's probably even more important, right? Because you're out like even showing property, right? Do your agents use this almost as their personal assistant versus the team, right?
And the beauty of it is if you're on a team or if you're a solo agent, Raya references you. So your name is brought up in every conversation. It's Livia's assistant. With this other one, I'm going to pull it back up so you can see the one I just showed you. Let me go back.
And Jeffrey, thank you, man. You're doing a great job answering everybody's questions in the chat.
Yes, thank you.
Which is awesome. And more questions are coming in.
Yeah, and guys, while Livia's pulling this up, please, the questions, if you use the Q&A down below, we're trying to scroll, but as people are commenting, we lose them. Use the Q&A down below and we'll clear them as we answer them. Yes. We'll come back to it here at the end so that, because we know some of these are getting answered as we go, but please put them in the Q&A. I'm sorry, Livia.
No worries at all. This is, so again, this is insight, right? Morning, this is Melissa's assistant. So this is responding as Melissa's assistant, not as Livia's, but as Melissa's, because she's the assigned agent. Then Raya is letting Melissa know. Now Melissa gets to jump in. She has stayed the advisor through this process. Her presence and her mind share with this client has been consistent. You also have the insights that Ylopo's giving, though, that I just have to point out. I know it's not about Raya, but I just have to, why I'm obsessed with Ylopo. He's telling us it's on hold. What is he doing? On the 19th, he's looked at this property 4 times. Does that sound like someone that's truly put it on hold? Or does that sound like someone that needs some questions answered? Might it be financing? Might it be timing? Could there be a lease at play? You know, as agents, when people used to walk through our doors and talk to us, we knew how to navigate all these questions. Technology created this wall between us that we didn't know. If they say stop, we just think we have to hide in the corner. Let Raya talk to them for you and let Ylopo give you all these valuable insights. I jokingly call it surveillance. It is watching what they're doing and telling us so that we know how to act. And then with this assistant in this virtual office, we're able to jump in and save time, meeting the right people where they are without having to go through thousands of people trying to understand how to meet them where they are at the right time.
2 things real quick, Gabe. First of all, Sean is hilarious. He goes, is Raya answering the Q&A?
Oh my God.
I just had to say that. But second of all, to Gabe's point, if you have said something or asked a question in the chat already and it hasn't been answered, can you just copy and paste that into the Q&A? The Q&A is the button at the bottom. That's how your questions will be answered. So just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, we're going to grab that. And I love this example though, too, Livia, before you go away, is this is a perfect example of what G was saying, right? It's one thing to just have AI or to have text drips. I think somebody says, oh, when did Follow Boss get text? These are not text drips. This is going back to what G said that they built into Ylopo that is based on behavior, based on things that are going on. And if a lead is sitting in a certain stage, like a nurture, unknown, unconverted, based on their behavior, it's now going to start engaging them on your behalf to get to what Livia was saying, to set up a conversation. This is a perfect example. On the 19th, came in, looked at 4 homes. The next day, there's not a log call. There's nothing that's happened yet. Oh, my assistant jumps in and is now engaging them. And I like this. On hold, one of my favorite scripts, somebody is also asking for scripts in here. One of my favorite things, again, Raya is teeing up a conversation. On hold, they didn't say, I'm not buying. They've just verified they are buying. Now it's just us to determine what does on hold mean, right? Now they're going in there and doing this. Livia, would you show us, because another question that came up, sorry, this stuff gets me excited.
Yep.
Another question that came up is, okay, well, can I jump in and respond as her? Or can I jump in and poke somebody? Because again, it's AI. Those of us, you know, we know the best thing to say, but we're not always in front of our computers and ready to, you know, say something or respond, but we've got the option right here.
That's a great question.
So here we go. This is one that's opted out now, so I can't, but what we would normally do, so you just click on the link, it will pull you right over. And then I'm in touch with James and he knows what I'm looking for. And I'm just going to put a pin in what I'm about to talk about to just make a mention on this as an agent. The gratification you feel when these people tell your assistant that their agent is you. It is just like, yes, we're doing it right. We've got this. I had another one that he was working with me and he's a high-end buyer. And Raya had sent him some properties because he had gone a little quiet. And I let Raya contact my people. I like my assistant. So she sent some properties and he responds, oh, thanks so much. Did you let Livia know you sent those? I was like, yes, well done. So let's say with this one, I'm in touch with James and he knows what I'm looking for. I would just respond, thanks for letting me know. I have let James know that we chatted and he'll be in touch.
Yep.
And then I do like to add his follow-up boss number so that when the number comes through, when you're calling from your virtual office, and that's another soapbox I won't get on too much, but when you're in follow-up boss, you have this beautiful ability to just call right from follow-up boss, queue up that number. So when it comes through, they already know who it is calling. It's amazing. But so you'd send this, he'll be in touch, you add the number, send, done. And you can see when it's you versus when it's Ylopo with this little tag.
Hey, before you go with your next question, Gabe, just real quick, I want to remind everybody, do not leave yet for sure, because we have Q&A coming. Plus, we're going to show a QR code that all of you are going to want to scan for sure. So stay with us, but we're right in the meat here. And I know, Gabe, you had another question for Livia.
Yeah, so this is a good example. If you can hit the back button really quick, sorry, Livia, because somebody asked, like, what number your assistant, Raya, or whatever you name it, and again, reach out to your account manager, support@ylopo.com if you want to rename your AI. But they're asking, it's coming from its own number, but what Livia was just saying, and there was a subtlety there, I want to make sure everybody notes, because it is money. When you're reaching out or acknowledging, if you do want to tee up exactly what she just did right there, you can send a message. If you wanted, and you know you're going to take it over, or one of your agents, throw their number in there. Let them know that that's coming. This is the beauty of this, is it created an opportunity to take over a conversation and hand it off to your agents. So that way you can customize it to yourself and tee it up for that transfer. So it is a separate number, but you can literally, just like Livia did, respond if you want to set them up for a different number.
And I just want to jump in on that separate number too, Gabe. I think so many agents get hung up on the separate number concept. I had come from corporate America. So, there was the main line and then everyone had extensions off the line. And it was never a question if it was me when I'm calling. So when you queue up your number that you're going to be calling from, they're not going to be thrown that your assistant has another number. It's not you, it's someone else. So I just think it's, instead of overthinking that, she wins more than she loses calling from her own number. And it allows us to intro ourselves from our number.
Right.
That they keep them separate.
Yeah. No, I love that. And we're going to come back in here. I know we got a bunch of questions to get to, like in the next, 15 minutes. I'm going to show a couple other examples. Just
I'm going to stop share so you can take over.
Is incredible. So to what Livia was just saying, like, and I'm literally like, these are coming in real time on mine right now. So I'll just jump over and show you.
While you jump over, the link has been dropped by Jeffrey. Ylopo.com/March, like the month of March, but we will display a QR code for a free demo. So very exciting. Go ahead, Gabe.
Yeah. So here's a perfect example. This is just happening within the last couple minutes, right? Raya's teeing up what's going on. A behavior text or behavior happened. They came in, viewed 3 listings. Ylopo jumps in, doesn't take a non-response for an answer. The lead starts engaging, responds. We're retired, thinking like this is literally in the last. Within the hour since we've been on this webinar. Congratulations.
Can we look at what she says? Congratulations on your upcoming retirement.
Yep. Based on the
That's awesome.
100% AI learning based on their behavior, what they're looking at, coming in, still going. Us as a team, we jumped in, we let exactly what Livia just said, probably learned this from Livia, let AI do what it's doing, asks if they need to sell before they're buying, probably. So now we've identified this is probably 2 deals here. And then what we do, and this was just sent, is we then jump in just like what Livia said, and I'll just show you. And I want to make sure you're sure we're practicing what we preach. They've got all this information. We're like, perfect. What do you have a minute for a call? We tee up the number we're going to call from. So this was my ISA that was calling. And the reason we do that is everybody think when you get a call from an unknown number, an agent maybe unreached, our phones show that spam likely or something like that. What happens is when you have a text thread going back and forth, you identify a number. A lot of these carriers now take off that spam likely possible junk. So this is a huge handoff that Livia was just talking about that you guys can use, and it works in real time. I want to show one more. You mentioned we have people joining in from Mexico. We have a team we're building in Texas and Phoenix, Denver. We have a huge Latinx community here, a lot of Spanish speaking. Look at this. This is one from a few days ago. Raya reaches out, sends a message. They respond back, asking if we have someone who speaks Spanish without missing a beat. Responds right back in.
Oh, that's great.
Responds saying, we understand we have somebody set up. I don't want to spoil this probably too much, G, but sets up a call from in-house calling to set up and set an appointment. And we've got this with our agent, right? So I just want to make sure there's so many other facets. We're just beginning to scratch the surface of what Livia and I are doing with our teams and how we're leveraging this. But I want to make sure that we all understand, going back to what Livia said a minute ago, this intent is not to set our appointments, even though it will, or sell homes. Is to start conversations, and now allows you to start focusing on who is worth your time, who's responding back to you. So now you can do this. We all want more inbound activity, right? And that's what we're spending a good chunk of our time doing, but it's up to you to now filter through. And I don't know how you guys do it, Livia, but like do we get some stops, some unsubscribes? Yes.
Yeah.
But it's to Raya, not to me, the agent or my agent.
I was just gonna say, but aren't you thankful your assistant did it so it didn't cost you time? That's the thing, is it's and with the insights we're getting from Ylopo, we're not just cold calling people. We already know what they're looking for, what they want. We have insights. So when we're sitting down and talking to them, when we have that first conversation, we're very, very much meeting them where they are. And that is the key to being a trusted advisor.
Yeah, similar. You and I run very similar, where we're leveraging Follow Up Boss, the smart list, and creating lists at a click of a button. And we work our list left to right. Our number 3 is I know everybody in this list, the most recent person inbound. I'm just looking at my Boise, but I can now look, Boise, same neighborhood. Who is this? And that's okay. They gave me the permission to explain who we are. Yes, I want you to send Lizzie. May I ask who this is? Yes, nothing over 300,000. Yes, we're looking for space. Will do within 60 days. I'm going through the list just in one market, looking through these to see who it is. If I see a stop or anything they're in there, I just filter them out. My eye is looking for the low-hanging inbound opportunities.
Yes. And the other thing that Raya does, it's amazing, is if they're looking at properties, Raya can integrate with your MLS to send a link to properties. So she's re-engaging them with your branded website. So you're sucking them back into your ecosystem where you can help them achieve their goals.
Hey, why don't we take a second and let G speak to this QR code that's on the screen?
Yes, thank you.
G,
and then Q&A after this.
Yeah. Go ahead,
yeah,
G.
Awesome. Yeah, we have limited time here, so I will just summarize this for you. We've been partnered with Follow Up Boss from the get-go, and Follow Boss and Ylopo, we just want to try our technology, right? Like, we truly believe that once you try it, once you learn it, you're going to love it, right? And if you don't, you can cancel Ylopo and keep Follow Up Boss. You can you can use our system in separate ways, is what I'm trying to say, right? Like, you are not locked into using both our technologies. Same thing, if you're a Follow Boss user, you can certainly try our technology and stay on Follow Boss, or leave our technology. And I say all of that because we have a joint offer from Follow Boss Ylopo, if you're not on both platforms, that will give you over $1,000 of value, right? That includes, by the way, $600 of free media, free advertising dollars that Ylopo will give you in month 1 to boost the number of leads that you get. It's not just, things that are not valuable as with other offers that we bundle together and we're saying it's an offer. We legitimately are providing you value, but then we're putting our money where our mouths are. We're giving you media. We're giving you a free ticket to one of our regional conferences that are happening over the next 60 days. We have 3 of them all over the country. Which is incredibly valuable, by the way, for Ylopo users who are new, because you're going to learn all about how to use our systems and scripts and conversion in literally a day and a half, right? We're not asking you to commit a ton of time, and you're going to learn a lot of stuff. You're going to get a free trial, 14 days of Follow Up Boss, so many different things, right? So if you go to ylopo.com/March, as long as you attend a demo of our platform within this month, we're going to give you over $1,000 of real value with not just, kind of soft stuff, so to speak, but actual money that we are committing to your success. So ylopo.com/March.
Yep. Or just scan that QR code. I'll leave it on there for like 5 seconds. And I did want to say one thing, because Livia was saying, hey, make sure you talk about the support that Follow Up Boss, not just Ylopo, but Follow Up Boss provides. So scan the QR code. And now I'm going to go to our support, 7 days a week, real people and we're a remote company. We're all over the country. So again, 7 days a week support. We are customer focused big time. And so you can expect to be able to get someone on the phone and help you with campaigns, action plans, smart lists, whatever you're working on, the integration with Ylopo. And we're very, very proud at Follow Up Boss to be working with Ylopo and have this partnership, because it's been great, and it's great for so many customers, Gabe. I know you know that.
Oh yeah. I love it. And the support is fantastic. So I want to jump into some Q&As, because I know we're down to like 15 minutes and there's some good ones. Livia, in the hot seat on a couple of these, but like, and some of these are very similar. So I'm going to kind of paraphrase about 5 that I saw, but basically, Livia, can you provide some sort of parameters that you're using for the AI? Are you eliminating any based on tags, or what parameters are you using when you go look for the people that are responding to Ryan?
In Follow Up Boss, it's very easy. You have stages that are like groupings of people, and then you can use tags for like little sticky notes you want to put on these people to search. Ylopo assigns tags as well. So when we're going through, the easiest way to get the cream of the crop is to create a smart list that includes tags: AI interested, AI needs follow-up, AI engaged. There's specific tags that you can apply, and that's showing you who to queue up immediately. But that being said, I do think it's important to also, the not interested, at least acknowledge what they've said. Don't let them live in dead air, because sometimes they're not interested in something that your assistant said, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not an active buyer or seller.
Yes. And G, I love you. And I love this technology. One thing that it's not a feature request, but the not interested, right? I think as agents, we ignore it too often. It doesn't say, leave me alone. It doesn't say opted out, which there is a tag when they opt out, they'll put that. It says not interested. And as an agent, if you're listening to this and you're using or about to use this service, please write this down. In your brain, in your agents, you need to just append the word now or right now to that, and ask one more question, like what Livia was just saying. Hey, thanks for letting me know it's on hold. When you say on hold, are you thinking later this year or in the spring? They might be just waiting for school to get out. Or when they're saying not interested, great, did you end up purchasing something, or did you put it on hold? They'll start telling you. Again, it's a conversation starter. And so I love what a lot of people have done with this at high levels is you're going in and, Follow Up Boss has this great column that's last marketing text reply. You can say, just show me one that's not empty. So you've got everybody, and then do it the lowest hanging fruit. Who's engaging? Respond to them first. Now let me look who said they're not interested, and I need to find out, are they not interested ever or just right now? Right? And then we ignore the opt-out, just they've opted out, and we ignore them from the Raya standpoint. But I've literally seen somebody opt out from AI while they're talking to my agent, or the reverse. I've literally had an agent call in when a conversation's going because they didn't do a handoff, and they tell the agent, nope, sorry, I'm already working with someone. And they have a full back, you know what I'm talking about. Back and forth is going on with AI right now, but in their brain, they're working with somebody. Somebody's answering their questions. Yep. Okay, I love that.
And I did see one question I want to just quickly touch on.
Please.
I know we're short on time, but they said, what happens if they opt out? Do you trash it? You don't trash it. They opted out because maybe they don't prefer texting. Maybe they're in a situation that they can't. We don't know why they're opting out. That's a perfect time. And this is a whole different webinar, but get on the phone or send a video email to them.
Ooh, I love that.
Let
yeah.
them know, which is another reason why Follow Up Boss is the boss, because it integrates video right into it. So you can just record your videos right there, and you're going from being this faceless, nameless person to an advisor in front of them, boots on the ground.
Correct.
Right. Whether you have MailChimp, BombBomb, or without, you can do video through Follow Up Boss. Thanks for mentioning that, Livia.
Yeah, Livia, somebody asked for reference and to scale, are you using ISAs with AI, or how do you are you pairing this? What is your setup?
So we have an operations manager. And what she does is she looks every morning and several times throughout the day to see what's going on. Now, I'm in a very niche market. I am on Cape Cod, very small market, and New England, which doesn't like a lot of ISAs calling if they're not local. And usually they know they're not local because they're not pronouncing the names of our towns correctly. So we tried the ISA model. It just didn't gel in our area. So quite literally, Raya is our ISA. She is the point person. And I can promise you, if you use, which is another reason why I feel like the summit is just so important, if you're already a client using this and you just feel like it is not making sense, please come to the summit. It is laptops open, and we will show you where the magic sauce is. This integration converts business for agents. It's ROI.
Yeah, this is like I mean, we're about 50 minutes in, but this is 50 minutes of what you're gonna get for 2 days. But even outside of AI, deeper into lists, deeper into priority alerts, deeper into listings, all of that. I love it. So I'm going through these questions here, a lot about smart lists. Again, follow by, how do we set up the smart list? Reach out to your account manager through Follow Boss, or even your account manager if you're adding this on at Ylopo. The CSMs and the training team will actually go in if you already have Follow Boss and now you're adding this service. They'll go in and actually, literally, Livia, myself, Barry, we work with the CSMs and the trainers to teach them how we're using this so they can now put it into your Follow Boss for you and show you how to use it or customize it if you want to. So between Follow Boss or your CSM at Ylopo, you're 100% covered here.
Yep. And I see G just put the summit link in the chat box. If you guys want to really get into a deep dive on these smart lists, how we create them, what the tags are, why we use it, how we respond, it's huge.
Yeah. So somebody asked G if you could chime in here, and this is different. So I really want to think like, this is great, but let's talk actual results. What's the conversion rate? So I want people to really think there's a difference here. Conversion for us, remember, Raya is teeing up conversations, verifying real people and all that. So that's part of the conversion to whatever lead source. We're doing it through our Ylopo lead sources. We're adding third-party lead sources into our system and onto our Ylopo site, and then their behaviors will get them in. But then there's a conversion, G, of how many people is Raya AI actually converting into a conversation that it reaches out to?
Yeah, great question. So here's the numbers. And, I think exactly to your point, conversion can mean different things to different agents who are on top of things. Out of 100 leads that you get within the first 30 days, 45 to 50% of them, 45 to 50 of those individuals will say something to Raya. That's a huge percentage, right? Of those 50, about 8 of those people will say, leave me alone, opt out, right? Now, we get a lot of folks who say, oh, I get a lot of opt-outs. What do I do with this? Raya's, messing up, all this kind of stuff. Well, I'll tell you that we are extremely conservative on opt-outs because there are now a growing number of TCPA attorneys that are out there trolling for opportunities to sue you guys. We've already dealt with a couple of these guys, right? And it is in your best interest for us to protect you for people who are legitimately opting out from texting those folks, right? One of the reasons that our bot is so compliant is that I can actually go to our service platform, Twilio, who is delivering all these texts, and say, here is the 800 possible combination of ways that Raya is going to talk to a consumer. Please audit this and tell us when someone is opted out. And what that means is that 99% of the time, we are in compliance with TCPA, right? That's really important for you to know. So those opt-outs, those are really valuable because those are saving you from very expensive lawsuits, right? So 8 out of 50 are going to opt out, right? Now, 7 to 10 of the 50 are going to be what's called ready for follow-up. That means that they've had such a long conversation with Raya that we've said, hey, this person is ready to talk to Livia or Gabe on an appointment basis, right? Or the consumer said, hey, call me, right? So those are the Glengarry, Glen Ross leads that you have to talk to, right? And we give you a tag, you should do a smart list, all of the things that Gabe and Livia talked about. The rest of those folks, the 30 that have responded, but have not set up an appointment and have not opted out, that's the goal that Livia and Gabe are talking about here, right? Because they have engaged with you, and if you are watching those engagements and taking over those conversations to turn those into appointments, you're going to get a lot more conversions and than just waiting for Raya to do, the automation.
Yep. And here's advice, and I know you've probably seen this, Livia. If you've had this or you're using it, and I've been on a ton of calls, Livia's been on calls with people like, okay, what am I missing? And I literally just did this a couple of days with a coach that we're going to be doing an event with. They just didn't go in and set up the list in Follow Up Boss accurately to show them. And then secondly, guys, leverage what Ylopo does, dynamic listing alerts, the remarketing, make sure everybody's on them. If they've sunsetted, get them turned back on, because between those ads and the listing alerts, that's what's triggering them to get back on the site. And activity, which is one of the questions, where are these views activities? It's getting them back to your Ylopo site. That's the behavior that then triggers in AI, and all of that's automated, but you have to set it up.
Yep. And it's not as complicated as it sounds. Once you get it set up, it does work for you. So if you're already using it and need some help, there are coaches that can help. But if you're not using it, it is a game changer. And this offer, I saw a few people go, can we get that too? What an offer, G. That's amazing.
Well, you said this is your ISA, right? For 200, sorry, this is your ISA. So think about the cost of training, hiring, maintaining, and managing, calling in sick, days off.
The time alone, like the onboarding of someone and saying, please don't say that, but say this. That's the other beauty of this. So I'm going to talk about a magic moment before we go, because I just have to share.
Yes,
I
please.
know we're at the top of the hour. But there was a woman that responded, I'm sorry, the search is on hold. I just lost my husband unexpectedly. Now I'm on showings. I can't handle this. And Raya responds, oh my goodness, my condolences. I am so sorry to hear that. I see this, I get tagged, I get to jump in and say, I just have to let you know that my assistant let me know, and I want to extend my condolences as well. I am so sorry. If there's anything I can ever do on the Cape, you let me know. She started to explain what had them looking for a Cape house, why she's putting it on hold, but that he would want her to have her Cape house. There was not a dead end to this story, but there was a person-to-person touch that allowed me, I would never have known that that happened in her life if my ISA, Raya, didn't cue that up and respond accordingly.
That is a wonderful way to explain how this works, and in a way that's so personal, that your automated assistant was very personal, and it gave you a layup to really
give me the ability to connect with her on a level that I guarantee other agents haven't been able to do.
Yeah, or a drip text or a mass text. I saw people asking about it, right? This is not mass texting. This is not drip texting. There are integrations for that. This is AI getting even better with ChatGPT that is based on their behavior on your website to engage and create conversations so that teams like Livia's can just crush it and knock it out of the park.
Are there any questions that we haven't answered that Livia, you see, or Gabe, or G?
There were a lot that were similar around smart lists. I think we've attended that.
Okay.
A bunch about mass texting. That is not this. And that's not saying it's bad, but that is not this. That is opposite of this. So I think we got a lot of people about sharing the smart lists. And again, people, well, I've got ChatGPT for free. ChatGPT is also not this, right? This is taking and making it even better based on their behavior coming, integrated with your MLS, based on where they're going and engaging them where they are on their journey to feed you, the agent, more information, not making you go somewhere.
Just remember, realtor curated. This is not ChatGPT where you have to prompt it. This is already set up to connect with buyers and sellers and queue you up when you need to meet them.
Yeah, but using Open API, and as G said earlier, getting even deeper over the coming weeks with the technology as Open API, ChatGPT, and all that get better. So I trying to just go through here.
I love how you said that, realtor curated. So it's realtor specific. That's one of the biggest differences between the two, ChatGPT and Raya. That's huge.
Yeah. I think we got through most of them. I think there's some general ones. Some people are typing some answers as more the general ones. I know that, you know, for us, similar to Livia, even though we have ISAs, they are working these lists. The number 3 list is AI that we're constantly monitoring the agents. The best thing I think to do is, because everybody sets it up different, Livia and I are similar, but it's a little bit different, right? I have certain stages. I don't want AI texting. I have certain days that I have turned off, so they're not texting on Christmas Day. Best thing, scan this, chat with Ylopo, see what it is and how you tie it into your business, and then leverage what Livia's, you know, shared to then not have to start from zero.
Yeah. Well, I want to just thank everybody for joining. We had a massive audience, and look at the interaction and the engagement's been awesome. So thank you all for joining, and we'll be on a webinar soon, I hope together, or we will be at the summit and maybe in Las Vegas.
Sure.
It's a great excuse to go to Las Vegas. So
Great
2 days of this
together.
awesome.
Awesome.
I love
I'm
it.
glad you got
Everyone.
to do this. Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. See you soon.